Yo, welcome to the channel. We're going to be talking about, can an unbeliever be saved? Can a Buddhist, can a Muslim, whatever religion it is, someone who's a non-Christian, can they be saved? Because as Christians, we say, hey, if they don't believe in Jesus Christ, they cannot be saved. You have to believe in his blood. You have to have the blood in order to be saved. Well, that's true, but we're going to be seeing what the Bible has to say. Leviticus 5 verse 11. But if he be not able to bring 2 turtle doves or 2 young pigeons, then he that sins shall bring for his offering the 10th part of an ephah of fine flour for his sin offering. He shall put no oil upon it, neither shall he put any frankincense thereon, for it is a sin offering. Verse 12, then shall he bring it to the priest, and the priest shall take his handful of it, even a memorial thereof, and burn it on the altar, according to the offerings made by fire unto the Lord. It is a sin offering, and the priest shall make an atonement for him, is touching his sin, that he that sinned in one of these, it shall be forgiven him, and the remnant shall be as the priest as a meat offering. So if one is not able to bring 2 turtle doves or 2 young pigeons, but can bring a 10th part of an ephah of fine flour, as it says in verse 12 and 13, make an atonement. So something that does not have blood in it can make an atonement for someone. Something that does not contain blood can be offered for a sin offering. But wait, doesn't Leviticus 17:11? It says, for the life of the flesh is in the blood, and I have given it to you upon the altar to make an atonement for your souls, for it is the blood that maketh an atonement for the soul. This verse right here is telling you that in order to have an atonement, you have to have blood. But in the verse we just read, that has no blood in it. The ephah of fine flour has no blood in it, but yet it makes an atonement. Now, what am I really trying to get at? Let's see another example. Numbers 19 verse 9, and a man that is clean shall gather up the ashes of the heifer, and lay them up outside the camp in a clean place, and it shall be kept for the congregation of the children of Israel for a water of separation. It is a purification for sin. So the ashes, as it says right here, for a water of separation, the ashes in the water of separation, it is a purification for sin. So something that does not contain blood, yet again, makes a purification for sin. But yet Leviticus 17:11 says you have to have blood in order to have an atonement. But yet these 2 examples have no blood in it, but yet they make a purification for sin, and they make an atonement. Let's go to Hebrews 9:22. And almost all things are by the law purged with blood, and without shedding of blood is no remission. And almost, what does that indicate? Not all things. Almost a certain amount are by the law purged with blood. Not all things are purged with blood. Almost a little bit, a certain amount, whatever that is purged with blood, but not all things. Almost all things, as Paul states in this verse. And without shedding of blood is no remission. So not all things have to have blood in order to get forgiveness. Because as we've seen those examples in the Old Testament, there were certain offerings, certain purification ceremonies that could make an atonement for people that did not contain blood. Now, what am I trying to get at? James 4:17. Therefore to him that knoweth to do good, and doeth it not, to him it is sin. So my whole point of this is that if someone is in ignorance, does not know about Jesus Christ, deny Jesus Christ in ignorance, it's a different religion, Jew, Muslim, Buddhist, whatever it is, but they do all that they know what is right, not going against their conscience, giving out to the poor, which we're going to go through, doing all things right, going to work, feeding the homeless, loving their family, and they're not going against their conscience. They're doing all they know what is good. According to this verse, they wouldn't be sinning. And according to the Old Testament, if they do not know about Jesus, if they do not have the blood, they can be saved. They can have an atonement made for them. Why? Because verse 17 says so. Therefore to him that knoweth to do good, and doeth it not, to him it is sin. If one is doing all they know what is right, and not going against their conscience, those people are not sinning, and in other words, God will let them in. Because why would God not let them in if they lived just exactly like the Christian did? He gave to the homeless. He loved other people. But only thing is, he didn't believe in Jesus Christ. Because most Christians don't realize is the reason why people are unbelievers is because they see hypocrisy in the church. They see you guys living like the world. They see you guys telling people to do certain things, but yet you guys are hypocrites. They see all this hypocrisy, all this worldly stuff in the church, and they're like, man, I don't want to do that. This pastor just walked by someone that needed a sandwich and gave him no sandwich. He gave him no money, and he's living over here, living in a mansion. and this person leaves with faith because of that. But then that atheist, whatever religion he is, he left Christianity, she, he, or whoever it is, that person can be saved because he's seen that and he's out there giving out to the homeless. He's loving other people, but all he doesn't do is believe in Jesus Christ. But yet, according to this verse, he will be saved. Acts 17 verse 30, and at the times of this ignorance God winked at, but now commandeth all men everywhere to repent. So the people who are in ignorance, the people who do not know Jesus Christ, if no one ever tells them anything, and they're just walking in ignorance, the people out of the country who have no clue about Jesus Christ, who are clueless about who God is, clueless about the Bible, and all they do is do nice things, is we can go to 1 Peter 4:8. And above all things, have fervent charity among yourselves, for charity shall cover the multitude of sins. Use hospitality one to another without grudging. If the unbeliever is giving out to the homeless, loving other people, taking care of his family, living just like how the Christian is living, but he's in ignorance, not knowing about the Bible, not knowing about God, Jesus Christ, he is going to go to heaven. Why is God going to not allow him to go to heaven if he lived a righteous life? Lived a life that Jesus would want him to live, that God would want him to live if he was a Christian, but he lived that life, but all he didn't do was believe in Jesus Christ. Why would God not allow him to go to heaven? Of course he will let him go to heaven because we already went through all these verses. You don't have to have blood in order to have an atonement, but there's ignorance. For the Christians, you need blood. You need the blood, whatever that blood is. That'll be another study. But understanding that unbelievers, the people who are non-Christians, if they live a righteous life, if they live a life, all they know what to do is good, not going against their conscience, those people will be saved in the end. Thank you guys for watching the video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, had to enlighten you guys on this topic because it's a very confusing topic for some Christians. Like, can they be saved because they don't believe in Jesus Christ? Oh yeah, they can be saved because it's ignorance. But as we went through these verses, the unbeliever, the non-Christian can be saved. Thank you guys for watching and God bless.